Welcome everyone to another great episode of Brutally Honest. I am your host Stitches NBC, and tonight I am joined with
your boy Brutal Keith.
Welcome everybody. This is actually episode number 9 from season 2 of Brutally Honest. The season finale will be in 2 weeks. That will be on November 10th at 8:30. We got a lot of topics. We're gonna have a recap of all the shows. I have a lot of special guests coming through. I actually have a few masks that I'm gonna give. Not just one, not just two. Not just, let me not sound like LeBron right now. We're going to have a few masks to give away. I know y'all see the horns. Like, what the heck is this guy doing? What is this? What the hell's going on over here? Is this a gimmick? No, I'm actually going to play a little bit of the devil's advocate today. So, say hi to the Stitch, the devil's advocate, I guess. I do want to say, I feel like you guys do deserve me being really honest, and just to keep you guys something personal. I didn't do my show last week. Unfortunately, I was in a car accident. I was with my son, and at the end of the day, I'm just glad that my son is good. I did get diagnosed with a concussion. Keith didn't really care too much about it, but it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. You gotta do what you gotta do. But, thank God I'm here. Keith's here. My son's good. Everybody's good. We're all healthy. Anybody else that's going through, especially the coronavirus right now, I have a lot of personal family members that I'm not going to try to talk about that on the show right now. I'm not here to cry in front of y'all. But I do want to send my condolences, and I do send my prayers and my well wishes. But today, guys, Season 2, Episode 9. You know what we're talking about today? Oh, you ready, right? Today we're going to be talking about two topics. And these two topics are actually intertwined, We're going to talk about, would you still get into a relationship with somebody without introducing them to your kids first? It's crazy that we're actually going to talk about this, but we're definitely going to talk about this. I have all the comments because I posted that, and I also posted the main topic for tonight, which is, would you get into a relationship even if your kids don't like them? Hold up. You're talking to me about, even if my son doesn't like her, would I still get into a relationship with her? We're going to talk about that too. So let's go with the comments. You know what? That's enough of the mask. That's enough.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, are you going to do the whole show with the mask? I didn't even know you was going to do that, man. All of a sudden, I thought this was the Halloween special. I'm like, did I not get the memo?
No, you didn't get the memo. It is the Halloween special.
Oh,
but I wanted to be here by myself.
I should have dressed up then. I would have came as you. No, I'm kidding. That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay. I'm just joking.
I thought they only sold fake outfits, not real ones. Okay, but anyway, that was good. Come on.
On the spot?
That was good.
Baji.
Alright, so let's start off. Before we give you guys our own personal opinions, I'm actually going to read some of the comments from the post, which goes, would you still get into a relationship even if your kids do not like them? Press 1 if it's live, and if you guys want to shout out, and press 2 if it's a replay. I would definitely appreciate it if you guys shared. Only share if y'all feel like it. But I would appreciate if you guys shared. Why? Because of the purpose of the show. We always have to have a purpose in what we do. And the purpose of this show is to spread awareness. As far as where exactly, and you guys can answer this, I would appreciate that too, but where exactly do we draw the line of putting our kids first without gambling with our own happiness? I understand, as parents, as a mother, as a father, we love to put our kids first. I get it. I'm not debating that. There's no rebuttal for that. But my question to you guys, and I'm asking you as well, where do we draw the line of always putting our kids first? I mean, it's very cliche to say, but I'm going to say it. You can't make others happy if you're not happy yourself. So where do we draw this line? Drea, George, Gator, Diana, Tina, Jaylene. If I'm in a relationship, thank y'all for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Dre, Natalia. If I'm in a relationship and it's getting serious, then I will introduce them to my kids. Thank you for that. And we're going to get to that as well. So let's start off with the first topic, Keith. Let's start off with the first topic. So this is actually from Gigi Flores. She goes to the question, would you still get into a relationship even if your kids don't like them? That's what she's responding to. And her response to that was, and I do appreciate her comments, no. If my kid do not like my man, then I'm not going into the relationship. My son plays a huge part on who stays and who goes. Talk to me before I respond. Because I already get it already on the tip of my tongue, but I'm going to hold up.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like there should be a question there. Why doesn't her son like the man in her life? And I feel like some people jump to conclusion, they don't like him, so I'm just going to end it. I'm not going to get involved because, like you said, they're putting their kid first over their own happiness. But in that particular situation, it's like, what if the man's a good guy and your son just really wants you to be back with his dad? So he's not going to like any guy that you bring home unless it's his dad.
Yep.
Period.
I'm glad you said
I mean, just on that example, you're going to be alone until your kid moves out, ma. Like, and if you're okay with that, then I guess that's okay. But like what you were saying, at what point does your happiness come involved? And I mean, if there's other reasons why your son don't like him, then I mean, like I said, that brings up the question. But if it's just because they want you to be back with their parent, I mean, with their father or whatever the case may be, that might not be a reason to dismiss a potential person that you saw interest in enough to bring them to your kid in the first place. But
okay.
Talk to me, Stitch, because I know it's a lot more comments and
I
want to talk about it.
I appreciate you keeping it short as well. So she goes, no, if my kids don't like my man, then I'm not going into the relationship. My son plays a huge part on who stays and who goes. Okay, so Gigi, no, if my kid don't like my man, how's he your man? Don't you have to be in a relationship with him first? So that's the first thing I noticed from that comment. And then I'm not going into the relationship. What relationship? Well, if you're still thinking about getting into the relationship, how are you claiming him as your man? It's my question, right? Y'all can answer that too. But she's like, my son plays a huge part on who stays and who goes. And that's the issue that I have as far as how old are your kids? You know, because there has to be a thing as far as them being age appropriate. A 5-year-old is going to act like a 5-year-old, and that's appropriate for a 5-year-old to act like a 5-year-old. It's not appropriate for a 25-year-old to act like a 5-year-old. If you're 5, 10, 15, and 20 and you're acting within those ages, then it's okay, especially if it's the child, let's say it's 5 or 10. Of course they're going to have resentment off the rip. It doesn't matter who you introduce them to. They're not going to like them. They want mommy and daddy together. Of course, 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, when they're 15, they're a little bit more free, a little bit more understanding. They're more into their own lives instead of their parents' lives. So they're doing them, and at the end of the day, they just want their parents to be happy. Or should, if they're good kids, they should want their parents to be happy, right? But when you're 20 and you're 25, you should be already old enough to put your own personal feelings to the side and really look out for your mother, really look out for your father, and what's in their best interest. Not be selfish as far as what's beneficial to me. No, I always want my mother. No, now I'm going to get jealous because now my time is going to be taken away from me. Those are not valid reasons of why they should like a person or dislike the person. Let's move on. Lisa Santiago, nope, not at all. Thank you for commenting. Francesca, she says it depends, and I'm like, on the age, and she's like, nah, it depends on the situation. This is from Francesca Ortiz. She's like, some kids don't like them because they're not the real father. Same thing like we're talking about, right? And they want their parents to get back together. I always ask my kids for their opinion. And if they don't, I ask them. And if they don't like them, then I'm going to ask them why. You know, if they see something I don't, then I say no. But if it's because they want me back with their dad, I will take my time for us and for us all to get to know each other better. And my kids are more comfortable with that. Thank you for that, Francesca. I definitely do appreciate that.
True.
Yeah, that is real. Are jealous. He tried to be funny with this one. It'll be the dawning of battles from there on out. So although I have no kids, I would say no because I've seen it. Never truly works out for the majority. Un desorden completo. So he's like, okay, so he doesn't have kids, so he can't really relate. So then I asked him the question, would you feel more comfortable meeting her kids before you getting into a relationship? Keith, would you feel more comfortable before you getting into a relationship with a female? Would you have to meet the kids first?
Period. And the reason why I'm saying that is because let's just say I see Shorty out somewhere and she don't have a kids. Obviously, if I start talking to her and she's interested in me, we exchange numbers, whatever, and getting to know her, I'm pretty sure she's going to mention at some point, oh, by the way, I have kids. The moment she does, that instantly means to me, she's coming as a package deal.
Yeah.
That it's not just her, it's going to be her and her kids.
How do you show her that it's not just about her? If she opened up the door as far as letting you know that she has kids, how do you, on the receiving end, as her man or the person she's dealing with, how do you show her that it's not just about her anymore, and it's also about the kids?
Oh, it's easy. You just go out and do something together as a family. Go to the pool. Go to the park. Go do something together. Go out for dinner. Be like, hey, bring your kids along. They can order whatever they want. I take care of it, whatever the case may be. But just so that I can get to know your kids too.
But let's be honest, bro. You really don't care about the kids. You just want her and you just want to smash. So if that was your intentions, how would you show her that that's all you really care about?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, if I'm not looking for a relationship and building, if all it is a smash and that's what it is, then the moment she tells me she has kids and things like that, I'm going to let her know up front that I'm not interested in anything long term. So that this way she know up front that if all she wants is fun, she's not trying to bring nobody around her kids. And
that sounds
she
good,
just
bro.
Want fun,
but that sounds
then we're
good,
on the same
bro.
page. But if not, then there's no point in meeting the kids at that point.
The script always flips. At the beginning, they're going to tell you, it's okay, I just want fun too. So then she drops the bomb as far as I got kids to show her that she's family oriented. And maybe that'll be something that you might be interested in, or it might just backfire completely and you go ghost. Yeah. So our jealous placencia, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here.
Facts
so
though. Because some guys do that. They find out you got kids and they like, I don't want to deal with her kids, and they out.
You're right. Our jealous was sensitive to that question, which is, would you feel more comfortable meeting her kids before getting into a relationship? He's like, I'd say I feel more comfortable giving them an easy job of attempting to walk my dog. If my dog comes back in one piece, you're gold. If the dog gets lost or worse, Jesus, Dios me libre. Okay, so Saskia Reeves responded to the question as far as would you get into a relationship even if your kids don't like them? She responded, no, because it would disturb the peace in the home.
I sort of feel where she's coming from as far as the kid acting out or misbehaving because they're not getting what they want and so on and so forth, which might make it a little bit difficult for her, especially if she's trying to introduce somebody that she's like and interested into her kids and they just not having it. But again, it goes back to the age level because at what point, and this is for me, this is the way I looked at the entire question, this is why I had so much to say to you when you posted it, was how much control does your kid have over your life? And what I mean by that is, aren't you the parent?
Who's the adult here, right? Who's the adult in this situation? You're right. I completely agree with you. All right, so then it goes with the next comment. Okay, so she's like, no, because it will disturb the peace in the home. You're absolutely right. And if anything is going to disturb your peace, then it's really not worth it. So moving on. Dominique Moore, she's like, nope, not at all. If my dog didn't like them, it's still a no. Damn, even if your dog don't like them, okay, all right, okay. I could have saved myself some years if I had listened to my dog. That's some funny stuff. Sarita Alexander. Next comment, Gigi Montana. Hell no. Okay, thank you. Lily, no. Okay, great.
Before you jump into the next one, I just want to throw this out there because she just said this right now, and
yeah,
I think we need to address the elephant in the room. Jaylene, she said it's different when it comes to guys. Guys will introduce anybody to their kids. Mothers is more strict on that.
Awesome. I don't like the comment.
I don't agree with it.
No, I don't like the comment because first she's saying guys will introduce anybody to their kids, right? Mm-hmm. And then in the next sentence she's saying mothers are very strict on that. So there's a big difference between a guy and a mother.
Yeah.
She didn't say father.
Yeah.
Okay, because at the end of the day, a good father wouldn't do that either. Let's stop the gender attacking and all this stuff. At the end of the day, it always works both ways. I'm sick and tired of females acting like women are on a pedestal and they're so much better than men. No, females are real fucked up out there too. Same way how men are.
But
just to keep it brutally honest.
To address that is because in the actual comments to the post, I think it was only 2 or 3 guys that commented to it. The majority of it was female that obviously dealing with kids, mothers, nurturers, etc. They see that and jump out at them. But the 3 guys that did respond all said no. They wouldn't continue to date somebody that their kids didn't like, which I think goes in line with what the women were saying, which to me, I'm still baffled by. That so many people said no.
I'm gonna get to that, bro. I'm gonna get to that. Labalbi, and these are the comments from my post as far as would you get into a relationship even if your kids don't like them? Keep it brutally honest. And these are the responses. So the next one, Labalbi, I've broken up with someone because my son hated him, and I'ma always pick my son over any dude. Okay.
I mean, we're not going to disagree with that one, right?
I am going to disagree with the fact that it says, no, I'm going to disagree with the fact that it says always. Always? Damn. There's no thin line. And this is where we're trying to get to here.
So when your son grown and got his own wife and his own family, he's still going to be telling you who you can't date?
Thank you. Sarita Alexander, no. If my daughter doesn't like someone, there's a reason. She sees something I don't. When you saw that, you told me something.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was the post that made me and you have the conversation when you was like, yeah, we need to go live. Like this is something to talk about. But
that's why I didn't want to respond,
Sarita, because I know you personally. One of the things that caught me off guard with that post coming from you, and I mean to anybody that says that maybe their kid sees something that you don't, is your kid a psychic? What type of special abilities does your child have that you as an adult are missing? That you spent time with this person before you introduce them to your kid, you didn't see no red flags, no signs, no nothing, thought everything was cool enough to move forward to bring them around your child.
Thank you.
Finally did so, and because they saw something that you quote unquote didn't see, you'll stop messing with a guy dealing with a person. To me, I can't believe that. And what I'm saying is like, okay, now I can understand if your child is at an age where if a man came in your home and he's looking at your daughter a certain way and she's like, hey, mommy, like, look, I felt like he was acting kind of creepy. Okay, that's a different story altogether. Like, obviously, you get rid of him, do what you need to do. But what could your child possibly see in a person that you don't? Especially if you were the one that spent the time with this person getting to know them before you brought them around your child.
Oh my God, I'm getting to that too.
Like,
I'm gonna get to that too. I'm getting to that.
And I guess it became funny because I was like, it really, like, does your child have superpowers that you don't? Like, I want to know about this child because I want to bring him around a couple people that I want to find out some things about, and I want to see what they see.
Right. So when she's like, no, if my daughter doesn't like someone, there's a reason. She sees something I don't. I responded to her, well, what if it's out of jealousy? And she responded with, oh, definitely. And that's up to me as the parent to decipher that. But I should also hear her out and respect her feelings. If I'm getting into a relationship, then that person will be around my child. Why would I purposely put her in an uncomfortable situation? You're absolutely right. At some point, one of those relationships will be unattainable. Besides, kids notice off vibes that adults try to explain away. Like I said, if she doesn't like someone, there's a reason. She's not jealous or selfish. Okay, so what I have to say about that is this. Playing the devil's advocate. Us as humans, we are physical creatures, but we're also spiritual creatures as well. We all have spiritual gifts, whether you guys know it or not, whether you guys want to agree or disagree. We are all born with a spiritual gift. We are all able to use our third eye and our own intuition. What happens is throughout life and throughout society, we've been force-fed these ideologies and morals and standards on how we should be, and we deem our life more on the physical realm. But when it comes to a child still has that connection. That's why you see a baby, they're glaring off into the thin air and they're smiling. That's because they definitely see something that us as adults are blinded to. So yes, there is a lot of truth with maybe your kids see something that you don't. It might be some type of energy that you see that you don't. So I'm not gonna disagree with that. I am gonna say that yes, that is also a possibility. But like you said, as a parent, it's up to you to decipher that. Natalia Cardenales, no sir. Okay. Amanda Jorge, she's like, yes, she would. So I responded, well, was this off of experience? She's like, absolutely. And she responded to, would you get into a relationship even if your kids don't like them? She's like, yes, she would. And another one that said yes, and I do admire all the courage, especially when you see so much people saying no. It does take a lot of, you have to build up a lot of courage to go with the contrary as far as what everybody is saying. So Liz Peter, thank you for commenting. She's like, yes, she would. She's like, if you would have asked me this question 5 years ago, I would have said no. Absolutely not. However, today, I have to say yes. My kids are grown. They are all planning their lives away from me, their own lives away from me, one way or the other person or the other. So if a person makes me happy and I see a future with them, then yes. Because my kids will leave home and I deserve to be happy regardless of what that looks like to anybody. Lily Janos responded to her that part. Everyone's saying no. Yeah. And then in 20 years, when they start their own families, they'll be reminiscing on the love that could have been. My grandma always says that all the time. Don't marry the guy your family tells you to, or your kids tell you to. Marry the person that ignites your soul, because in the end, your kids will grow old and have their own lives. Thank you for that. Andrea Lagares, she's like, no. And I'm like, but what if your kids are jealous? That's what I'm asking, because it's like everybody's saying no, but there's a possibility your kids could just be jealous. They just want mommy and daddy together. So she's like, what if she's just jealous? And she's like, I have a great relationship with my daughter. I would know if it's jealousy or not. But even so, when a kid is uncomfortable, that's all that matters. Been there, so if she doesn't like him, I don't want him. She's like, she's been in here, she's going off with experience. It is what it is. Nora, she's like, no. Alicia, she's like, no. I asked her the same thing. What if your kids are jealous? She's like, my kids always come first. Even if it's risking your own happiness. She's like, first, I never let my kids meet anyone I was dating until I knew it was like marriage bound. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Let's go with the brand new comments. All right.
Can I ask you something, Stitch, before we jump right into the next one? You ever... because I know your son. You ever introduce him to something he's never tried before?
All the time.
Any of those things he ever didn't like? For any particular reason?
A lot, yep.
You ever stick it out with him and keep trying, and eventually he start to like it?
If it was good for him, yes.
Okay, so as the parent, you saw what was better for your child as far as... long term, like you said, if it benefited him, you'd keep trying it with him. Like, and I'm just going to use an example because, again, I do know you and your son. Like, when he first wanted to do lives and stuff like that, how he used to be so shy. Like, so shy. I mean, it was adorable. But you kept sort of just letting him find his own way, showing him that you do it, etc., and letting him sit and watch and stuff till he felt comfortable, right? But as a parent, you decided. Yep. Now, the reason I bring that up, and I'm going to translate that into what we're discussing, is as a parent, and I bring it back to what I was saying about Sarita's comment, if you spent time with the person, getting to know them before you introduce them to your child, because nobody introduced somebody to their kid on the first date.
A good parent wouldn't do that.
Well,
there are some parents that would take them on the first date.
As a guy,
bro, there are some parents that would take their kids on the first date because they couldn't find the babysitter. Let's keep it brutally honest.
Okay, but so in that situation,
a good parent,
that person might be understanding. Like, hey, look, I really wanted to take you out. I get you couldn't find somebody. You know what? Just bring the kids along because I want to spend time with you.
That's too intrusive.
That's different.
That's too intrusive.
I wouldn't say that either. But I'm just saying in general, there might be somebody out there.
And if Shorty's telling me that, she's turning me off.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day,
unless she's bringing her own kids
if I know she tried, Like, hey, I had a babysitter that canceled on me. I don't really want to
what
cancel
the hell
this
are you
date.
talking about
Do you want
trying,
to
bro? Like I said, bro, that's
check?
too intrusive, bro. That's my kid. That's my son.
is.
Like, back off. Back off. Don't be trying to force the situation. Listen, I couldn't get a babysitter. I'm with my son. The date is canceled. Don't come over here talking about, oh, it's okay if, it's all right. I could just slide through. We could just order some pizza and we could watch a movie all together. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm with my son. Period. Period. Now, I'm saying this in the beginning. Like, we just started talking, or we just started, like, trying to, like, getting to know each other. We just started. Now, if it's, like 3 months in, and we've been dating consistency, then that's okay. Now I'm going to take it, okay, now she's trying. Now she wants to be a part of it. I'm okay with that. My response is from the beginning, because that's what we're talking about. Like, would you introduce them, and things like that. So, leave me alone. If I don't bring it up, if I don't say my son's time is available for you, it ain't available.
Well, let me ask you this, Dave.
Playing the devil's advocate. I think I'm doing a pretty good job here.
Damn sure is. But let me ask you this, man. Let's say you did get to that 3 months stage, and you threw that out there, so I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to run with it. Okay. And you feel comfortable, like you said, the consistency's there, etc., and you do bring them around your child. Mm-hmm. Or they're talking about being in a relationship with you now that it's been the 3 months and they haven't even met Michael yet.
Okay.
What is your next response to that?
Well,
oh, look, these last 3 months have been great. I see us going somewhere in the future. I really want us to be with you and get into a relationship. I want to be more serious than what we are right now. But they haven't even met your kid yet.
Okay, that's awesome. The first thing I'm going to do is tell her thank you. I appreciate her honesty, and I appreciate her sincerity in communicating her pure feelings towards me. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to appreciate that communication. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we're going to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. We're going to have this conversation. Now, she told me how she feels. Okay, I'm going to let her know how I feel. Mm-hmm. And if I feel the same way, then it's okay. We could take the next step as far as what we're building together. It's okay. And if it's not okay, then it's not okay. And I don't have to explain myself to anybody. At the end of the day, we got to protect our kids. All right, so...
And I love that response. At the end of the day, whatever you feel that's protecting your kids is obviously going to be the best answer for you.
Jaylene, you're supposed to bring somebody that you know your kids will like them. If you think they won't, might as well not bring them around at all. If you're dating somebody that you think your kids will not like, then there's something wrong with the person. And I'm going to get to that at my final rant. So I'm going to get to that. I have a final rant written down. I'm going to get to that. Quincy, I agree 100%. Unless dude is acting creepy, like how you said, right? But if the kid just has a hunch that something is off, then I don't know about that. Well, Quincy, you actually do know about that. As a father, as a mother, we actually do know about that because we should know our kids, and we're gonna talk to our kids, and we're gonna ask them questions, and we're gonna figure it out and the reasoning of why they said what they said, or why they behaved the way they behaved, why they acted the way they acted, and why they think the way they thought. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get to that, and then as a parents, we're gonna be like, oh, okay, then you're just jealous, or maybe you just have a bad day, and it was just a bad time to even introduce you. Kids have bad days too. Let's not dismiss that.
That's true.
Quincy, man, I need one of those hats with the horns on it in my life, like immediately. Hey, devil's advocate, killer, devil's advocate. Shamae Owens by. I never let anybody I'm dating around my kids. Thank you for that. Until I feel like they are going to be around for a long time. I think in situations like this, it's unhealthy to just jump into introducing your kids so quickly. I agree. Maria, sometimes kids think because you aren't their parent that we can't set boundaries in the house. And since we do, they dislike us. My kids have to give me a good enough reason to look into why they don't. Okay, I love the comment. That goes a lot with last 2 weeks episode when we was talking about the step parent role. All right, Lachey, she says no. Aisha Rivera, she says no. Everybody's saying no. Let's see. Jacinta hints. If it's only because they don't want no one to have me, no. But if it's valid, like something is off, then yeah, my kids' safety and happiness comes first. Thank you so much, Jacinta. Michilo Lorenzi. I was with somebody for 7 years, and his daughter was very manipulative. She didn't like me because she had her dad wrapped around her little tiny finger. So it all depends why. So my question was this to her. Why do you think it made it so difficult for the father to see his daughter's manipulative ways? That's my question to everybody tuning in right now. Michi goes to the question, would you get into a relationship even if your kids don't like them? So she's talking about, I was with somebody for 7 years and his daughter was very manipulative. My question to that was, what made it so difficult for the father not to see his daughter's manipulative ways? You have one?
Well, I mean, one, it's his daughter. I mean, my daughter is my princess, so she gets what she wants. It is what it is. So I get that being wrapped around her little finger part. I get that 100%. But it's like, what was she doing to manipulate the situation to where you felt like she didn't like you? Because it goes back to what we were saying. I mean, I know with moms or with sons, it can be, you're not my dad, I want my dad. But it could also be with daughters that, you're not my mom, I want my mom. And what I mean by that is if his daughter was being manipulative in a way to make you look bad, like, oh, doing things just out of the blue, like you're not helpful to her or whatever the case may be, to try to manipulate her father's feelings towards you. Because I don't really know what had happened in that situation. I'm just going off of what was written. Depending on how she was manipulating her father, as the adult, you have to step up and say, hey, look, this is what's actually going on. If he's not seeing it, like you said, how did he not see it? But if he's not, as a woman, you should be able to step in and say, hey, look, this is what's really happening.
Okay, so I have an answer for that. And this answer is actually from my own personal experiences as well. So my question to her, what made it so difficult for the father to see his daughter's manipulative ways? And I'm going to talk about something real personal and real heart-touching here, because a lot of us that we have separated families, we can really relate to this. So check me out real quick. I wanted a family. I wanted a big house. I wanted my daughter to have her mother and her father in the same house. Same thing I wanted my son. Things didn't work out that way, and we have to move forward. We can't hold on to the past, but those were still dreams and desires in my own personal life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I wanted for my daughter. That's what I wanted for my son. I'm gonna have to say wanted because I'm not with your parents, right? I still want it, yeah. But I'm just saying that's what I wanted with their mother. Like, I wanted that bond together. I wanted them, because that's what I grew up at. Like, my parents, they've been together for over 50 years now. It's 55 years now, and they've been together. I never grew up in a broken home. So me growing up, having a kid at such a young age, and now working and things not working out with your mother, it took a toll on me, bro. It really took a toll on my own soul, bro. So when it comes to my daughter and when it comes to my son, it's not right, but I'm just gonna speak facts. I have pity for them. I pity my son. I pity my daughter in a way that I wasn't able to give them what I wanted to give them, which was a wholesome family. So my response to that, as far as how come the father couldn't see their child's manipulative way, is because pity settles in. You feel bad for them. You know, that's why you see, like when the father's not with their kid, when a good father's not with their kid, they're always going all out. They're always going extra. They whatever you want. They don't set boundaries with your own child. They don't know how to say no. They always say yes. And why they don't say no? Because I feel sorry for them. Like, damn, I wanted to give your family. You want the Nintendo Switch? Here you go. Maybe that can compensate for it. And that's my response as far as what makes it so difficult to see your child's manipulative ways when you're stuck in that situation, because you still feel sorry for them because you didn't give them what you set out to give them in the first place. Makes sense?
Facts.
Alright, Desiree and Rosa, she's like, nope. Press 1 if it's live, 2 if it's a replay, 1 if you guys want a shout out. Veronica Hernandez, she's like, I tried it once and it ended bad. Not because of the kids, because the guy was a creep and was busted looking into my windows. Veronica. What are you doing introducing a man that you barely even know to your kids? That's it. That's all I have to say for that. All right. Next, Rita Renee. She's like, no. Carly Rose. No. Esmeralda Rolden. No. Because if my kids don't like them, it's obviously a reason. Yeah, it could be jealousy. Okay, I would ask, what's the reason? I'm glad you're asking them because my kids shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable with someone I'm dating. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. And I understand that. I understand that.
Like she said, what's the reason? Getting behind the root of the problem is the easy way to solve the problem.
Dolly Garcia, no, she would be too uncomfortable. To each your own. But I have a close relationship with my son, and I respect his opinion. You know, he's just 12. He's just mature in his opinion matters. Whatever that means. At the end of the day, a 12-year-old is gonna act like a 12-year-old, Dolly. Obviously, he would want me to be happy. I'm happy for that, and I'm blessed. He loves my husband. But I have dated before I got married, and he would tell me if he didn't like someone, and he would explain why. And he was 6, and he was right, and he has always liked my husband and respects him, and it's his instincts. I guess that's how he got a stepdad that he could ball with and learn to become a man. Just saying. I love it. I love the story. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, a part of that is in the guy also, knowing that you come as a package deal, taking your child out to go play ball and doing things with him, understanding that if he's going to be a part of your life, he has to include your child a part of his life as well. And that means figuring out what they like and doing things they like. Because if not, then they will dislike you. Like, he don't do nothing with me. All he's here for is for you. All he wants to do is be around you. He don't do nothing for me. And that shows a mother that you're only there for one thing. You're not there for the long run. Yeah. And that's just being real. Like, if the child sees that you're not even trying to, but you know about them, they're going to speak up on that.
I like it. Jaritza Conception. No, I seen my mother do it and I can't. That's how you end up with 4 baby daddies. If a guy can't respect your kids, he can't respect you. I do agree with that last
not
part.
Keeping your legs closed is how you.
I'm like the kids
baby
are.
daddies, not introducing them to your kids.
Right. I did say to Jaritza, the kids are definitely an extension of you. Marla, no, I raised my kids well. If they don't like someone, it's for a very valid reason. No, everybody's saying no. Salma, Jackie, one and only, Marla fan, they all said no. Stephanie, Christy, Thomas Jenkins III, Becky, Nancy, Marlene, Maha Maria, Jay Fernandez, no. Judy Ventura, it depends. My kids are grown-ups with their own kids. They will have to tell me what they do not like about him. Exactly. Be specific of what it is.
And that goes back to what you said in the beginning is, what are the kids' age? Like she said, her kids are grown. So they can give their opinions and tell you, hey, mom, like I saw him with the other girl last week. You don't want that. Like, or whatever the case may be. But the age does matter. And I think that affects how we should react or respect their opinions also.
It does affect how we handle the situation. Yeah. Jelena, I always wanted my daughter to grow up with both her parents on the same household, but hey, things happen every single day. You're absolutely right. A lot of mothers introduce any man they get into relationship to their kids, and they have to be careful doing that because what are the kids going to think about you when they see different men and women all the time? Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I get into a relationship with someone who has kids, of course, I'm going to accept his kids just like he has to accept me with my daughter. Team stepmommy. Erica Warren, she's like, yes. Okay, we got a yes here. And I'm
There's a couple in there that said that. It wasn't a lot.
I was like, have you ever stopped yourself because your kids didn't approve? She's like, I've never had that issue. My kids like who I like, but at the end of the day, they will be very well vetted before my kids even meet them. I like that. If they make it that far, then I'm pretty certain that my kids will like them as well. That's what I'm gonna get to. Sunshine, I'm just here for the comments. I hope you got your popcorn. Kendra Danielle, she's like, no, what if your kids are just jealous? Gotta ease them into the situation. Okay, so we're leaning into this. Talk to them and find out what's the real problem. You're absolutely right. You gotta prep your kids. You can't just bring a new man or bring a new woman and, hey, this is it, and your life is gonna change. Like, no, you gotta let them know before you introduce them. Let them know that there's somebody even in the picture.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Erica Timo, what kids? That's funny. She's like, no, hell no. But what if your kids are just jealous? So I'm gonna read this because she actually took her time to actually write this. She's like, Jessica Morales. No, my kids aren't like that. What I mean is my kids are 7 and 12. When I met my husband, my kids were 3 and 7, right? And before him, I only been with their father. So I was very hesitant. Unlike men, they don't care how their kids feel about their next partner.
A lot of girls think that way. And maybe deadbeats, maybe like you said, guys that aren't good fathers think like that. But if you're a good father, you think the same way. You're not going to just keep bringing women in and out of your kids' lives. It's going to show a bad example as for you as a parent, first off, that you just let anybody and everybody come in and out, and they see that revolving door. That's what they're going to think love is about. Or they might decide themselves that, hey, the reason why mommy and daddy ain't together is because daddy just couldn't keep it. Well, we know where that goes.
Yeah, she's like, I see often men really don't consider their kids' feelings. Not saying all, but most men see an attractive woman and they have kids, and because of her physical, they just say she's everything. No, fathers don't do that. A horny man does. You forgot to put horny. Horny men don't consider their kids, because that's true.
All they want is the smash.
Antonio Jones, no. Jessica Slaniger, she's like, depends on how your child is. Depends on how your child is and who your child is. If your child is very overprotective about you and so clingy, then you should know that's the reason of why they don't like the new person you just brought. Sandra, she's like, yo, that's a deal breaker. I would definitely not do it. That's a deal breaker. Whoa. Okay.
Well, here, I want to mention something with the last person said in regards to depending on the child. One of the things, being a man now, and my mom being a single mother growing up, here's the other part of that, and we didn't mention this at all, but it goes involved with the kids' jealousy. If you're a boy, I mean, if you're a mom and you have a son and you're bringing another man around, first off, depending on how old your child is, I would say from 12 and up, like that adolescent stage, like getting into teenage stage, they're going to feel threatened because now all of a sudden they were the man of the house. Now all of a sudden you're bringing another one to take that position. That right there might create some tension, not just between your child and that man, but also between you. So when some of the people saying they don't want the tension in the house, they don't want that, like breaking up that peace and so on and so forth, some of that is also just understanding that where your child is in life, as a mother, you may not understand your son's reaction to it. And that might take you sitting down with another man and getting an opinion from them, because sometimes it's just a matter of they feel threatened that they're no longer the man of the house when they've been for so long, especially if you've been single for a while.
All right, guys. So next week, November 10th at 8:30 p.m., we will be season 2 finale. We're going to be having recaps of all the shows, something very similar how we ended season 2 in 2 weeks. 2 weeks in November 10th, guys. It will be at 8:30. Season 2 finale of Brutally Honest. It's going to be very similar to the season finale that we did in season 1. Keith was there, and we actually ran through a recap of all the topics that I have for the whole season. I have a lot of special guests, so we're going to try to have a little round table discussion. Have at least 5, maybe 6 people here. I think it'll be dope. I think it'll be different. It'll be more interactive. It'll be engaging. I will be the moderator, telling people, shut the hell up. It's not your turn. I can count on me on that one.
I'll be the one talking the turns.
Like you're doing that. Okay, so I'm going to be giving away masks and things like that. We're going to talk about hurt people. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to throw something at you. I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I'm going to throw this at you. Let's say if I'm with somebody and I'm in a relationship with her, and we broke up, and 2 weeks later, she's engaged with somebody else. Mm-hmm. Is it a safe assumption for me to assume that she was already cheating on me, or was it something that could have happened after? We're gonna save it for November 10th.
We are.
November 10th.
I got one for you.
Okay, what's up? Talk to me.
And I'm just going to throw this out there because I honestly, I wanted to talk about it today, but this conversation actually went on longer than I thought it would. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to. But in the same way, and since it's going to be so many people here, I want to know what everybody's going to think. So tune in definitely because I want to know if the sex is whack, is that a deal breaker?
Hell yeah. Oh, my bad.
Save it for next week.
I don't know.
And I was going to say, I mean, it's more to it than that. And what I mean by that is this is a good person as far as personality and everything you like. And now y'all just did the do for the first time and it wasn't what you expected.
Well,
but you like everything else about them up until this point.
Well, maybe you
I want to know for y'all, is whack sex a deal breaker?
And y'all was good friends, and all of a sudden y'all just had sex, then maybe you should have never bought that Hennessy bottle. Okay. So this is what it is, guys.
I like it. But I hear you.
You hear me, right? You know what I mean by that. All right, so this is my little 5-minute rant when it comes to, would you get into a relationship even if your kids do not like them? Would you still get into a relationship without introducing them to your kids first? So there's actually 2 parts to this question. Would you still get into a relationship without introducing them to your kids first? There are 2 parts to this question. So let's focus on the first one. Would you still get into a relationship? Let's just focus on that. So if you're considering getting into a damn relationship, shouldn't you already have all those boxes checked off? Boxes as far as, are they a good role model? Are they a positive influence? Are they a good father, a good mother? Do they have a good head on their shoulders? Do they got a stable job? Do they have a car? Do they have a ride? Do they have do you like kids? You know, things like that. Like, do they have a good living situation? Does he treat you right? Does he love you? Does he make you happy? Does he make you laugh? You should have, if you're on this first part of this damn question, as far as you're considering getting into a relationship, then obviously you should have checked these boxes off. So y'all telling me that after you already checked all these boxes off, your kids have the final say? So you're telling me, no, hold up, bro. You're telling me that after I checked everything off from this woman that I'm in love with, I checked everything off, and now I'm giving this application for my kid to approve it or reject it? Bro. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Bro. At the end of the day, like how we said earlier, who's the damn parents in this shit, right? So there has to be a balance of where do we draw the line of putting our kids always first. Listen, as a father, as a mother, I have nothing to say as far as putting your kids first. Yes, your kids should always come first, but you know what? Where do you go into this damn picture? You know what my issue is? The issue is this. A lot of women, they become mothers. Men, they become fathers. But I'm going to focus on the woman for this one, but it goes both ways. So a woman, she becomes a mother. And you're telling me that that's her only title now? Now she's just a mother. Now she's just living her life of the title of I'm just a mother and I'm going to be the best mother I can be. Where do you go into that picture? Where do you go into that phrase? Where do you go into that statement? Shouldn't you just be an all-around good person, great person, the best person that you can be? No, but I got a kid. So now my only role is being a father. Now I got to be a father and that's my only purpose in life? You got to be fucking kidding me. Excuse me for my language, but I'm just keeping it brutally honest. Right. No, we all have a higher purpose. And I tell this to my mother as well. Like my mother would sometimes put herself or go out her way because she just wants to be a good mother. But I'm like, Ma, you're not just a mother, Ma. You're also a daughter. You're a sister. You're a cousin. You're a person. You're a friend. You're a missionary. You're all of this. It's not just about being a mother. You have more of your person. It's not just me, oh, I just want to be the best father I can be. No, I'm trying to be the best version of myself, period. And being a great father goes intertwined with that. Now listen, as far as putting your kids first, of course, if you're going to introduce them to somebody and stuff like that, listen to what your kids are saying. Of course, I love my son. I love my daughter. Of course, I'm going to talk with them. They're my kid. They're my life. They're my world. Of course, I'm going to talk to them as far as warming them up, letting them know, like, hey, listen, Mike, I'm talking to this girl. I kind of like her. You might meet her later on or something like that. Just drop something. Just drop something so that it doesn't come out the blue. Listen, there's a difference between considering what your kids are telling you and having them dictate your own decisions. And if you are questioning it, then maybe you're rushing it. Maybe you should take more time. If you're still questioning of if you want to introduce this person to your kids or not, it's not the right time. Either they're not the right person or you need more time to be comfortable with that, especially if you're a great parent. But we have to take into account that the kids' age does affect how you handle the situation. Is it age appropriate? A 5-year-old is going to act like a 5-year-old, just like a 10, 15, 20, and so on. Is it age appropriate? It's not appropriate for a man or to be 25 years old to keep telling his mother, I don't like him for you. Why? Because you're so in love with her still doing your damn laundry? Grow up, live your own life instead of still dictating what your mother or what your father lives. Hold up, bro. I got one more thing to say. Because at the end of the day, guys, if you're at that point where you're ready to introduce this person to your kids, then it's fuck them kids. But this is what I mean. This is what I mean. This is what I mean about fuck them kids. I don't mean like the kids, like I don't give a shit about them. No. That's not what I mean. And I'm just said that to be funny because I got the horns on. I don't really mean fuck them kids. I don't really mean
Explain that.
What I mean is fuck how they feel about the situation as when it comes to them dictating and making the decision for you. Fuck that. Mm-hmm. The decision is mine. Not dismissing how the kids feel. No, that's not what I mean. Not dismissing your child. That's not what I mean. What I mean is fuck letting other people, not just your kids, people in general, live your own life. Because at the end of the day, bro, if I'm dating a girl and I fall in love with this girl and I am now ready to introduce this girl to my kids, because yes, the relationship comes after the dating. She's not meeting my kids when we're talking, when we're dating, or no. This is when we're in a relationship and I'm ready to introduce her to my kids as this is my girl. That's my girl, guys. That's my boo. Hold up, bro. That's my boo. I am in love with her. This is the person that I love. So guess what? You don't like her? Stop your shit. You're going to learn to love her exactly how I did. Well, you know why? Because as a parent, I know who I'm bringing around my kids.
Facts.
As a parent, I already fell in love with this person. As a parent, I know what's good and what's not, or I should know what's right from wrong. If I'm already at that point where I'm in love with this person and I'm ready to introduce her to my kids, then I don't care if my kids doesn't like them or not. Because at the end of the day, I'm making the decision and I know what's best for me.
Yeah, but Mike Stover actually said this, and the reason why I was just like, oh man, I can't wait to say this part is because just throwing it out there. He said, I'd say no, first and foremost. And he said, because the kids come first. If stuff, for whatever reason, shouldn't work out, you wouldn't want the kids getting hurt from being attached. Now, when he said that, like, a part of me felt that. And the reason why is because I was in a recent relationship where I met the girl's kids and got involved with the kids and stuff like that. And then when things didn't work out, it's like, man, I remember teaching her son, like, trying to help him learn how to swim. I remember doing all of these things with the kids where it got involved, and now that's no longer there. So I get what he mean by maybe just saying no off rip, especially if your child's younger, because of the attachment they may get to the other person.
Okay. All right.
So something different out there.
Okay, awesome. I got something for it already.
Shoot.
Why the hell are we living with attachments in the first place?
That's
I already got something already, bro.
Topic.
No, I got one more minute for this shit, bro. Why the hell are we living with attachments anyway? If the moment you was already born on this earth, you already had a set date to leave. If this life that we call, this human life where we're at, it's only temporary, why do we even have those attachments in the first place? Listen, I'm a firm believer in Taoism. I do follow the philosophy of Taoism, and that's something as far as going with the flow of things and not forcing things. It also has a lot to do with not attaching yourself with materialistic things in this world, because at the end of the day, we cannot take it with us. So Clay, so Mike Stover, listen, bro. I got you. I understand exactly where you're coming from. 100%. I got you, bro. But I got these horns on, and I have to play the devil's advocate, King. And the reality is, if that does happen, I'm going to keep it brutally honest. It's messed up. It's messed up. It is messed up. But you know what? They're not going to die off of it. You know what? It's a lesson learned. You know what? They'll become stronger with it. You know what? They'll grow up and they could take those lessons and they can adjust themselves accordingly so that they can live their life happily ever after. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another great episode of Brutally Honest. I am your host, Stitches NBC, joined with Brutal Keith, and this was episode 9 from season 2. Brutally Honest, guys. I know you liked it. I know you enjoyed it. Press 1 if it's live, 2 if it's a replay. Share it. I do appreciate it. This was an awesome show, King. I definitely do appreciate you. Season finale of season 2 will be in 2 weeks, November 10th at 8:30. Make sure y'all tune in. God bless. I love you guys all. You're not going to say bye, Keith? You're not going to say bye?
Y'all too sorry, man. I'm out.